Mark Bergen with Schwing America doing a walk around video of the S65 SXF. This is a 5-section overhead roll and fold boom. It has 5-inch pipeline, that is S3000 pipeline on the boom and the deck. And we have a boom dampening system that allows, pretty much eliminates boom bounce even when you're pumping flat out. So we move in towards the cab. You can see our SCC in-cab controller. That is the 3-inch display that allows the operator to switch between pumping and driving modes. It will display your PTO hours. You can turn on your outrigger work lights, and you can also raise and lower your pusher axle from the screen. Next to that, we have our 7-inch screen for our 360 camera system. That is standard on the 65 SX, and that will give you a 360 view of the truck, show you your blind spots, also give you locations for your outriggers, and a reverse camera. Moving to the front of the machine, we have our 225-gallon hydraulic tank that is integrated into the subframe. 65 is the SX outriggers with a twist. So we have the fold-out design. That is where the F comes from. So you fold that out, then you extend your outrigger. The outrigger controls are located right here on the driver's side of the machine. This handle here is what flips out the front of the outrigger. And these controls extend the outrigger and extend the foot. Above those controls, we have 2 subframe mounted toolboxes. And below that, we have an 80-gallon diesel fuel tank. So we have 2 of those. So this machine has a 160-gallon fuel capacity. Lots of axles on this machine, as you would expect. First 3 axles, that is your tri-steer. Then we have a pusher axle, our 2 drive axles, and our Samard rear steer axles, with the last axle being a drive axle. As mentioned before, this has our 360 camera system. So we have a camera mounted right above that toolbox. We have another camera here on the outrigger. We have a camera in front of the cab, and we also have one on the back of the hopper. Lots of configurations of the fenders on these, depending upon weight restrictions. So you would just want to check with your salesman to see the configuration that works for you. On the back of the machine, we have our work light socket along with an e-stop. And the 65 SXF also has the accumulator bypass as standard. So in case of an accumulator pump failure, you can turn that quarter turn valve and you will now take your hydraulic oil from your agitator circuit. 65 has the 25-25-6 pump kit standard. That outputs 213 cubic yards an hour at 22 strokes per minute with 1169 psi of pressure on concrete. And this features our B-Rock valve, which is housed inside our 13.6 cubic foot hopper with fold down hood. Now on the taillights, you can see a couple of little LEDs. That is our red light, green light warning system. That again is standard. So when the concrete pump is in forward, those will be green. And when it is in neutral or stopped, those will be red. So it's just a nice indicator for the ready mix driver to know the status of the concrete pump. There we have our ram change station. As we walk up the rear steps, we get a nice view of that 25-25-6 pump kit. And if you look in front of the water box, we have our cold weather drain. So you can shut that off or close that. and that will prevent freezing in the water box drain line. Passenger side rear of the machine, we have the operator control panel, featuring a 12-button keypad, concrete pump and agitator gauge. And we have a 3-button panel, e-stop, agitator and horn button. Here we have our water box fill valve, and we have our water supply valve, and there we have our water box drain. There is the passenger side camera. These are the controls for the smart rear steered axles. Right up above, we have our oil-cooled filter combination. And we have 2 more subframe mounted toolboxes. The first toolbox contains the vector control panel. And the next toolbox contains our outrigger, our hydraulic valves. So with any Schwing machine, you can run them manually if you lose electrical power. So this is your boom hand valve, your concrete pump agitator valve, and your e-stop manifold. Below that, we have our passenger side outrigger controls, another 80-gallon fuel tank. Normally, we have a 160-gallon plastic water tank mounted on the back of the machine, but because of weight restrictions, we have a 125-gallon water tank mounted up front. And there we have our level gauge, our supply valve, and our drain valve. Again, this is the 65 SXF 5-section overhead roll and fold boom, 5-inch piping throughout the entire boom. If you want to learn more, just go to schwing.com.